Hello friends and welcome to Parks Crafty Creations, the channel where we make sewing fun and approachable for everyone. I'm your host, Brian Parks. We've all got them. Bags or boxes of scraps we just don't know what to do with. Well, today, we're going to bust that stash while creating something beautiful and practical with a fun and easy project that everyone can enjoy. Before we get into it, if you enjoy this content, be sure to give us a like below, as it really does help out the channel. Do it now please, and if you're new to our channel, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell icon so you'll always be notified whenever a new video drops. And hey, if you love what we do here, be sure to share us with your friends. This beautiful tote bag is fully lined, has a roomy inside pocket, and features sturdy mesh webbing handles. Perfect for groceries, books, or whatever you need to bring with you. Here's what we're going to need. Fabric scraps, 2 pieces of batting 17 by 17.5 inches, 2 pieces of lining fabric 17 by 17.5 inches, 2 pieces of mesh webbing, each 32 inches long, fabric for the inside pocket. I'm using a piece of leftover from cutting the lining. And of course, your sewing basics: thread, rotary cutter, ruler, pins, and a sewing machine. A walking foot is helpful, but optional. The design of this bag is strictly up to you and your fabric on hand, so we'll be playing a little fast and loose with our numbers. The number of squares and rows will be decided by what you have on hand, and there's no set rule to how many you have to have, just as long as they cover your batting when all is said and done. But I'll share the numbers for what I did. I started by cutting my fabric into squares, approximately 2¼ inches high by 4 inches wide. In some cases, I made them a little bigger or smaller to add a little bit of randomness to my pattern. And just a note, just because we're using scraps, that doesn't mean you can't use jelly rolls to make yours, and design something truly stunning. Once I had my squares cut, I began to piece them together to make my rows. Using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, I sewed together between 5 to 7 squares, enough to go the width of my bag, 17 inches. I made enough strips to cover the height of my bag, 17.5 inches. As I finished stitching each row, I brought them back to my ironing board and made sure to press open the seams so they'd lay nice and flat. Finally, because I was using a lot of scraps and they didn't always match in height, I used a ruler and my rotary cutter to even out the edges and make sure they were all squared up. Of course, you can do this before starting to sew the pieces together, and really you should, but there is something fun to be said for spontaneously piecing scraps together on a whim, just because you like how they go together. This bag is mostly black and white, so I was trying to focus more on patterns than on color, but there's still little pops of blues and subtle yellows throughout. Once our strips are made and the edges are straight, it's time to start sewing them to the batting. We'll place our first row on the bottom of the bag's batting. Then place another strip on top of that one, right sides together. Then we'll stitch the 3 pieces together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. After each new strip has been added, I bring it back to the ironing table and give it a little press flat. I'll then repeat the process until I have the batting covered. Be careful to try to not let the same color or pattern touch on 2 separate rows to keep everything feeling random in your pattern for a design like the one I've got here. Now that they're all attached to the bag's batting, we'll trim off the excess from the sides so we're left with a nice, neat square. Or rectangle. Technically it's a rectangle. Some instructions you might find on this bag will have you trim it down to 16 by 16.5 inches. I didn't see the need to do that, so I left mine as is. But you can also trim down yours if you want to. This would also be the time to quilt your sides if you want to. But I already liked how mine looked, so I kept them as is. The lining should be the same size as your outer panels, in my case 17 by 17.5. If you cut yours down, you'll want to match that size. I cut both of mine from the same piece of fabric, and it left me with a piece that was just the right size for a couple of pockets. If you don't want to add a pocket, you can skip ahead using our chapters in the description below. Once I had my fabric cut out for my pocket down to my desired size, I added some medium weight fusible interfacing to the wrong side of mine and folded the top edge down 1 inch before bringing it to the sewing machine. With a 1/4 inch seam allowance, I stitched the top edge down. Snipped the corners, then turned right side out before adding a top stitch to hold the edge down. Next, I folded under the edges of the pocket and gave it a good press. Now it's time to attach the pocket to our lining. I fold my lining in half and give a quick press just to get a guideline for where my center is, and do the same for my pocket. Then line the pocket up with the fold lines, and for mine I measured down 5 inches and pinned the pocket into place. With the pocket in place, I brought it back to the sewing machine. I used a zipper foot and went around the edge of the pocket so the stitches would be as close to the edge as possible. Time to put our bag together. We'll stitch around the edge of our lining with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. On the lining, we'll leave a space on the bottom open about 5 to 6 inches to turn our bag through at the end. We'll also do the same with our outer panels. Now we can square off our corners. To do this, we'll flatten our bottom corner, making sure to line up the bottom and side seam as perfectly as we can, and we'll measure down 2.5 inches before using a ruler to mark across the corner and pin it into place. We'll do this on both sides before taking them back to the sewing machine and stitching across the line. It's a good idea to turn your bag right side out and check the corner before the next part. If you did it right, your side and bottom seams should line up perfectly. But even I miss just a little now and then. Once we're happy with our corners, we'll cut the extra off the corner, leaving about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. We'll repeat this entire process with our lining fabric as well. We're coming to the end, just a little bit left to do. But next, we'll add our handles. For this, we'll need 2 nylon strips about 1 inch wide and 32 inches long. Before we start to attach them, make sure to fuse the ends with a lighter to lightly melt the ends so the webbing doesn't come undone or rip when using them. Line up the strips 4 inches from the side seam of the outside of our bag. Pin them with about a 1/2 to 1 inch of nylon overhanging the edge of the bag. Once they're pinned on, we'll bring the bag to the sewing machine and stitch across with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Stitch back and forth over the strap a few times to make sure it won't easily come out. Now that our handles are attached, it's time to bring it all together. With your outer bag facing right side out and your lining inside out, slip the outer bag and the handles inside of the lining. Next, stitch around the top edge of the bag with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Take this opportunity to go over your handles an extra pass for a little extra support. Don't forget to backstitch at the beginning and end. Finally, pull the bag through the hole in the bottom of the lining that we left unsewn, and using a turning tool or a chopstick, poke the corners out so that you have a nice, sharp profile. We're almost done. Press around the top edge of your bag to keep the edge nice and crisp. Then top stitch with a 1/4 inch seam allowance around the edge of the bag. Again, don't forget to back stitch at the start and end. That will finish off our bag, except for slip stitching the hole where we turned our bag through. Look at that, from scraps to a work of art. Our tote bag is finished and looking stunning. If you found this tutorial helpful today, give us a like below. Do it now please, and if you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell icon so you'll always be notified whenever a new video drops. Thanks for sewing with me today. I've been Brian Parks for Parks Crafty Creations. We'll see you next time.